to the speakers. When I was planning this event, the first person I knew I was going to invite was Prince Aboki Daniels. Now, this man isn't just someone who has built system. He has built belief. And hearing him speak at the Tribe Conversation Live podcast was truly something electrifying. Prince Aboki Daniels is truly somebody that the world is so lucky to have. What is something about young people in Nigeria today that is finding it hard to be competitive in the global space?
Okay, number one, it might disappoint them to know that your generation seems not to have respect for time. So I personally don't work with anyone who doesn't keep to time. Inside of my schedule, I have never been late for anything. Never. Because if it is important, I will arrange my schedule to accommodate. That's why you said, well, on my way here, you were saying I should wait 1 hour longer. I said, no, I won't do that. If the event was 3, the latest I should come should be like at least 2:30, at least. So that's one time. Then number 2, most times when opportunities come, they are not prepared. They think they are prepared, but they are not prepared. When you talk about access as a currency, what do you now do? I look at it from 4 angles now. 1, what value do you have? As me now, what value do you have to give to me? What value? Example was, it was a brief meeting sometime in 2022 in Sokoto where some crew came from Hollywood and they picked me to go along with them to give Governor Tambuwal then an award. And so there was an opportunity to speak, to introduce them. And it was less than 3 minutes. When I held the mic, what I did with the mic showed I was ready, I was prepared. I wasn't to be called.
So you think there's a space in readiness?
Yes, they hardly get ready. They hardly get ready. For example, people will approach you to say, we want to act. And you say to them, send me a reel. They don't even know what a reel is. And if they do, they will ask you like a million questions. They are in your inbox asking you, okay, so what's a reel? Am I the one to tell you what a reel is? Okay. Google it, man. Google it.
Please, let's not.
So they are not ready. Then the other one is when you bring the value, are you consistent? Sometimes they say they want to do stuff. You tell them, let's do this stuff. And you can't see them again.
Okay. So, I don't know, right? Because in 2025, 2024, 2026, Nigeria has produced one of the most largest numbers of entrepreneurs in the world. So, I'm curious because you have been in the big rooms, you have been in decision-making rooms, and you're telling us now that young people in Nigeria are not ready. And the statistics have shown that Nigerians have produced one of the highest numbers of entrepreneurs in the world. So, where is the gap between Nigeria producing entrepreneurs and young people doing so great, and then there's still a gap to how? And this relates to the first question. So, if we're doing this well on the data, and you are saying we don't show, we're not consistent, where is that line? What's the blurry space?
Okay, so what's our population? 215 million estimated, right? What's the percentage of people doing well? And Nigeria is a median age.
Yes.
Is predominantly young people, over 70%, right? So if the young people are doing so well, what is the percentage of young people of a population of, let's even zero it down to around 60, let's even say the younger people, if it is 70%, 70% is over 100 million. How many people are doing well? How many, to be honest? Should we put it at 10 million? Should we put it at 5 million? 2 million? 1 million? No. And I'm not even saying the younger generation are not totally, absolutely ready. But if we want to take count in this room, people who are ready to take over their spaces are not up to, without exaggeration, of 10, maybe not up to 5.
What do we need to gain readiness? And I'm not even talking Nigerian readiness. Well, what do we need to do to have global readiness and global relevance?
Yes, global relevance. Let's even start local relevance. What is your capacity? Have you built enough capacity to what you want to do?
Have we not so far in
No,
Nigeria?
you tell me.
No, you people are creatives, have we?
Yeah. So when was the last time anyone said, okay, you are doing podcast? When was the last time you went for a training, an upgrade on podcasting? When was the last time anyone here went for an upgrade on photography, filmmaking? No, because yesterday's idea is for yesterday's business. Today's ideas will be for today's business. So every other time, people who make it in fintech, which is where some of the spaces where Nigerian young people are doing so well in tech, is that you find out that most of these people are not even resident in Nigeria. Even if they have done all sorts of upgrades. You are doing makeup. When was the last time you did an upgrade? So it's not to condemn that generally to say young people, but the percentage is discouraging for how much capacity the younger generation have. How much information at their disposal. Hey, they catch fire now. May they use her now.
Okay. Do we agree with him or do we have questions? Do we have questions? There's a lot of questions. Okay, let's wait first because I'm not doing it. Because we really need to ask you, right? You're saying most of the things that are happening in Nigeria, the big business, the big fintech, are being sometimes managed by young people, or young people's ideas are being put there. Do you think it's a problem of innovation that we don't have, or a problem of consistency, or the assets that we are not given?
Okay, so now most of the young people, I give credit to the young people. They are highly creative. In our WhatsApp group, where all the major filmmakers in Nigeria are in one WhatsApp group, it's called Filmmake. So an argument came, and then I was arguing for the younger generation to say, those people don't think as if there's a ceiling. So we can't judge them as if it was our time, or as if it were our time. No, allow them to fly as high as they can, because they are not seeing what you are seeing. We have seen a lot of impossibilities. They are not seeing it. So allow them to fly. We are not to compete with them. It's either we adapt or they leave us behind. So the question every time that when conversations come around younger generation is that they are doing well because the few of them who stretch their thinking are thinking like insane people. And you can't think normal and make any global impact. You can't. It's not possible. There's nobody who is normal who makes it big. If you see any, you can point that to me.
Okay, thank you very much. So going back, let's go back to the beginning. You've told us about your feat, how well you're done in broadcasting and filming, in politics and business, but I want to believe that this hasn't always been the case. You have had moments of no wins. You've had moments of blur vision. You have had your moments, right? Tell us about those times. Tell us about how hard it was for you to be in a space for a long time, working so hard and not seeing results. Tell us how that moment felt for you.
Yeah, there are such moments, and I won't even say up till now I do not have such moments. We have done businesses, we've lost a lot of money.
No, I'm sorry to bust you, but
yeah.
There's a story you told me that I remember. You said you worked in a place for over like 15 years or 10 years. I think about that number, and you were not paid. So please talk to us about that.
Oh, okay. So when I moved from Lagos, I've lived in Lagos for 10 years when I was acting on Tales by Moonlight. So when I had to come back to the north, I wanted to switch from television to radio. So I started going to a radio station, and I said they should give me a program to handle. So they gave me a program, which I did on Globe FM in Bauchi. I handled the program for over 3 years, not for any payment. But I was using that opportunity to learn to switch from TV to radio. So I think I did, I'm not thinking. I did 273 episodes of my program, all without being paid. And if you calculate twice in a week, it's like almost over 3 years. So, but when Wazobia's opportunity came in Kano, I was already ready. Let me use that word. I was ready from what I've learned from Globe FM. So by the time I got to Wazobia, which you started telling the story, I joined Wazobia in Kano in 2012. But as of now, I've been promoted almost every year. I've been promoted 10 times. I came from being an OAP to head of OAPs, to head of programs, deputy head of station, general manager, stations coordinator, head of station, until I'm programs director, handling all our stations. So there were such moments. And so what did I do? Or when I have such moments, what I use the opportunity to build capacity so that when the opportunities come, I am ready. So, and that's the missing link. The missing link is that opportunities will be given to you. Access will be given to you. But you find out that you are not ready for it. And readiness is not by faith or mouth. It's by your capacity. That's why they say certificate is better than certificate. So you go first sabi now. Not that certificate is not good. But if they give you the job, can you do the job? Are you ready to do the job? Can you get the job done? Have you built its muscle to get the job done? That's it.
Right. Thank you. So you spoke about consistency, and you said that is something that young people in Nigeria struggle with. Now, I'm focused on Nigerians because I'm a Nigerian, and everybody in this room is practically Nigerian, and a young person doing so great, right? So my question to you is, now, you have told us about your training ground where you were not paid and all that. So at what point do we draw the line between staying consistent and overflowing something that we should have let go?
The first issue with consistency with the younger generation, the first issue is peer pressure. They want to do what every of their friends are doing. So they take on one thing and will not stay honest to groom it. They will jump to another. Today you want to do music. Tomorrow you want to do film. Another time you want to do this one. So you just get yourself confused. What if you take one, and that one is photography for now, and then you take time, you groom yourself over a period of time. And then, of course, there are rooms for reinvention. What I have done over the years is reinvention. I've practically done the same thing in the last 20 years, or even 25, or even 27. The same thing. All I do is to scale up, to reinvent. At what point should I leave radio to film? At what point should I leave this to this? So for the younger crop of people, is that find that one thing, at most two, pata maybe three, that you want to do, and stay faithful. It's not that you want to sell bread today, and then tomorrow they say chin chin is selling, you jump and leave that one. And then they say they are doing podcast, you jump and enter podcast. Tomorrow you have jumped and enter acting. You are jumping everywhere. So you won't even have the opportunity, the time, the space to build up, to grow and nurture.
Okay, so let's do something practical right now. So you have heard the best of pitch from young people in business. You've heard the best of pitch from young people in film. You've heard the best of pitch from young people across different sectors. What is one thing that you look forward to when you want to pick a best candidate when it comes to all of these spaces that is not in their CV?
Okay, so anytime I'm on a pitch board, I'll tell you this secret is that since I'm always early, time is number one. I judge people first by their abilities to keep to time. Then if I'm on the panel, that I begin to time the people. I take the register and check who has come at what time. Because anyone who can't keep to time can't be faithful in anything. Is my opinion. If you can't keep to time, you can't be faithful.
What's going on?
You can't be faithful in anything. Then the next I look at is, I don't look at how big you say the idea is.
What do you look at?
I look at longevity of the idea. For example, when we design programs for radio, what we tell our team to do is that, does the program have the ability to be on air in the next 1-2 quarters? If not, is failed on arrival.
So the relevance of a person's idea matters to you more than the idea that's been brought.
Yeah. So what's the relevance? What's the idea without the relevance of the idea?
Because some ideas really are just for a moment. So does that not matter to you? That
There's no idea that is for a moment.
Okay.
There's no idea that is for a moment. That's why when we, as a brand strategist, I tell people, if you want to design a brand, even if you think the brand is local and is for Abuja, design it as if it is a brand that is global. So that when it is time to go global, you don't have to now, yes, you don't have to start to think, okay, say you want to name one company. Name it as if it is going global. Don't name it as if it is for your neighborhood. Don't give tagline or slogan as if it is for your neighborhood. Design it big and start small. Design it big and start small. So ideas, every idea is a seed. It's not a tree. There is no idea that is a tree. So, but every good seed is expected to become a tree eventually, or a fruit, or whatever, at the end of the day. So it's not this. People will come with dazzling ideas, but you just know that these ideas won't last because they are not impact driven. They are not human driven.
Yes. So I think I saw something yesterday about Nigerians and young creatives and young professionals in Nigeria, building something for the Nigerian market alone. And when it's time to export, we now struggle in the global market. For example, I think the person spoke about how important it is for subtitles to be in creative fields. And most times, Nigerians will take out subtitles when we put out things because everybody just has to understand. The person also spoke about how people use pidgin language in films and radios and do not translate. And so when you talk about putting our products in a way that attracts global market, it really doesn't make sense. And I think that everyone sometimes is guilty of the same thing, because sometimes when we put out things online, we forget that this has the ability to go global. Yeah. Do you think this is a product of how much we have commodify, our talents, how much we have relegated it to Nigeria? What do you think is the problem with that thing we do as creatives in Nigeria, where we bring our product, we bring our content, and then we make it in a way that feels like it's just Nigeria that's able to consume it? Do you think, what do you think is the reason for that?
I think it's local championship. It's local championship mindset. We're afraid. We're afraid of dreams. We're afraid of our visions. I've never been afraid. The worst is I'll fail. And I've failed successfully.
Can you successfully fail?
Yes, I failed successfully. I invested in one business. I didn't know who sent me. And I lost 36 million. What did I do? I dusted myself and jumped up and continued. Will I make the same mistakes again? The answer is no. Will I make fresh mistakes? Yes. So I try, I dare. If I want to design, when we started designing Blackville as a group, we wanted Blackville to go global. Was why we didn't name it Malang Aboki International. No. There's nothing wrong with it. But we said Blackville. You could just say to the Frenchman, is village for the blacks, or black village. If you go to the US, it's even a county. If you go to, you won't say you don't know black, or you don't know Ville. So that's the idea. When we wanted to do Blackville suit, we said, what should be the tagline? What should be the slogan? We said, exquisite. Nothing long, nothing serious. So it is that we design in our mind is still a bit little. So we don't think that with globalization, we can be here and then we'll be in the US at the same time. So we're still thinking Abuja is bigger than Nigeria. That's the mindset. We're still thinking, okay, it's Kano. So fine. No. It's that think big. Start small.
Thank you.
I agree with you, and you didn't have to agree with me.
Making him bring out his pen. You go take it easy, please. Don't.
Yeah, so why I say I agree with you is that in most cases, there are no one answer fits all. Because where you stand is different from where I stand. What I see is different from what you see. Example, I was privileged to be in the COVID-19 committee set up by the federal government post-COVID. We were 12. Our job was to assess the impact of COVID-19 on the creative industry. In that committee, I remember Ali Baba chaired the committee. I remember we have the present special assistant to the president, Baba Agba. In that committee, we had Two Faces manager, former manager. His name just escaped. We had Ali Nuhu, we had Ali Jita, we had Chioma Ode, the owner of Africa, and other people. Now, we found something interesting during that survey. We found out that the creative industry in the year under review, 2020, contributed more to Nigeria's GDP than oil and gas and mining combined. Where oil and gas and mining combined did about the oil and gas and mining did about 9.8%. The creative industry, IT and broadcasting contributed about 23.1%. So it did more. The only sector we found that even real estate did just 6.4%. Finance and insurance did 3%. But the creative industry did 12.1%, not 23, 12.1%. And the only sector that is bigger than the creative industry, both in value chain and ecosystem, was agriculture. So by those metrics, you will say that Nigeria's creative industry is booming. But by per capita, you won't say a population of 200 million people, and then you have less than 1% in a sector. You can't say it is so vibrant economically. That's why I say I agree with you, even if you don't agree with me. And then globally is that I don't benchmark Nigeria against any country. Why don't I benchmark Nigeria against any country? Is that you go to other countries, they have stable light. They have everything working. Internet, everything is working. But here, I'm sure they are powering this place with generating sets and all that. And then diesel is over how much? And then petrol is over how much? So I'm benchmarking us against our potential, not against the US. What is the potential of the Nigerian youth? The potential of a Nigerian no be normal person. So the potential of a Nigerian, as a photographer now, your potential, you are under utilizing your potential. And then when it comes to the readiness, where I'm talking about, I will zero it to the factor of investment. When you come to pitch to me, what do I look for in your pitch to give you money? These are the things we can't find. And when you go to where you can access funding, Bank of Industry, Providus banks, and all these banks that are into creative. By the way, when the only bank that supported my Oscars campaign, the only organization that supported was Sterling Bank. The Sterling Bank gave me 10 million to just go and chop life. Now, so when you say a young person, you want to set up a photography studio, you want to do this one, bring a model that is sustainable for an investor. You find out that you bring the model, but it's truly not sustainable. So there can't be return on investment, as such you can't be able to pay back. Okay. This is where the investments are not being given to the younger people, because the structure of their businesses is not such that can guarantee return on investment. So I agree with you totally. And from every angle you start to look at, if you look at it from the angle of faith, that we're doing well, I agree. If you look at it that we're not still doing well, I still agree. But it's that there are dynamics to these things globally. Example, the year that Parasite won an Oscar for Best Picture, the economy of South Korea, the creative economy, moved up by over $5 billion. These are metrics to judge. So it's not story, it's number.
Thank you.
Is here, it's also here to stay, but it's not going to take all the jobs. It will take a lot of it, but not all of it. Because again, conservative societies such as Nigeria, another conservative society, will still want to maintain a level of tradition. And I'm not talking about culture and tradition. I'm talking about a level of conventionalities. If not, in the new film that we did, Akwati is a story of this arms deal in Nigeria that made this plenty arms deal. So a journalist was investigating something, investigating the spending. You know, the money was $2.1 billion that was eaten, meant to buy arms for the army. And so he was investigating and they abducted him. So he was in a box. That's why it's Akwati. Because I told 77.46% of the film from inside the box. But why am I giving the story? The story is that adaptability is what will be able to create the balance in the creative industry. Because there were scenes that we should have ordinarily, some we missed them on location. We use AI. We use AI to incorporate. In fact, I have like almost 6 scenes that I had to use AI. Some because we missed, some because we didn't shoot properly. So to me, that is adaptability. I'm adapting to the age where we are so that I'm not out of the market. So it won't take all the job. You are in the tech industry. It will take the jobs, but it won't take all the jobs. But how do you now create the balance? Learn the technology and incorporate the technology into what you do. I will answer the second one. The second one is that these are some of the things we look out for in a pitch. The confidence to want to engage. Because what can the investor tell you? The worst is no. And no has never killed anybody. So yes, I will listen to your pitch. I will listen to your pitch, but it's not a guarantee that I will invest in your pitch. But I will listen and I will listen openly. If it is worth investing, I will invest. If not, I will point you to where there will be such investment by the grace of God. Then why media was that growing up when everybody wanted to be everything responsible, in quote, I just wanted to become an actor. I remember in Sunday school, they asked everybody what they wanted to become. Everybody wanted to become pilot, engineer, doctor. When it got to my turn, I said I wanted to become an actor. Everybody, all the kids laughed. They all laughed. Because there was nothing glorious about being an actor growing up. But today, you can see how actors are balling. I was contacting one organization in Abuja wanted to do, by the way, we're into talent management, Blackville Talent Agency. So we're recruiting for somebody, and they wanted to, one of these actresses, I won't mention her name. Do you know how much she charges for a post? 10 million. For just Instagram post. But when we wanted to become actors, there was nothing glorious. So over the years, I reinvented. Right now, there's nothing you do that I want to act. Nothing. I am okay behind the scene. And as I continue to grow, I found out that my passion is in media. The entire ecosystem of media. That's why at some point I was in NTA. Other times I was on AIT, then FRCN. I've done print, all manner. So my staying power is the passion for the media, is the passion for the creative industry, is the passion. And we started when there was nothing. Today we could invest a lot of money. By the way, Memataba is the most, you can Google Memataba. It's the most expensive Kannywood film ever made. Our budget was like 138 million. Our next film, Metasini and Magaji, both of them are in the budget mark of over $1 billion. Because for Magaji, we are bringing 4 people, 2 from Venom, 2 from Anaconda, for a visual effect. And the budget for that alone is about $85,000. So when we started, there was no money, it was passion. And we're ready to get it to the end. But now there is Malachi. So we're inside.
Thank you very much.
First, the second one, from originality, going global and losing your originality. When you were asking, I wanted to say, what in our originality do us? In any case, would you say Burna Boy, like my friend said, reference, is Burna Boy a global brand? Has he lost his originality?
Okay,
Is whiskey the global brand?
I think she's trying to say, how do we maintain our local source while gaining global relevance? So how do we, create balance around that? Because some of us, we still want our source, we still want our core very rooted, but at the same time, we want global competitiveness.
Going global does not mean losing local relevance. Going global does not mean losing local relevance. For example, where does your highest money comes when you have your film on YouTube? For example, for people, okay, nobody has his film on YouTube, but for people who have their films on YouTube, do you think the much money comes from the local market or from the international community? International community. So would you say the movies have lost local relevance? But the real money, that's why people are now registering their YouTube channels outside the country because of the compensation plan, the payment plan. So when you design, for example, Blackville with the Oscars, we have gone global. With the Oscars, by the grace of God, we have gone global. We have gotten a deal that no African film ever got. What was the deal? We have a 3-year deal for the soundtrack of Memataba. Don't forget, the soundtrack of Memataba is Hausa. In a deal, you can check my social media page. You will see that we have gotten a deal with Mayor Plaza, channeled through Sony Music. So our soundtrack, original soundtrack, has been released in 223 countries, and it's Hausa. What is the language? What was the language we used for Memataba? Hausa. Has it connected with the global audience? Yes. Because we screened in Hollywood. We screened in last November, you remember, we screened in Berlin. We screened our films. Our films now are being studied in 3 universities in the UK, 1 university in Canada, and 2 universities in Europe. And the film is Hausa.
Right. So my question is, what is the edge you have, and how do we adapt it? Because it's not that we hear.
The edge is that what the global community wants is your originality. That is why if you look at the Oscars, how come the whole world have to compete in one category? IFF is International Feature Film. Every film in the US are in different categories, but the whole world are left with one category to compete, and that category has to be indigenous language. Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, French, Swahili, all these, and these are foreign languages. So the global community are looking for your authentic story.
Thank you.
I'm into entertainment, music, and sound engineering. I wanted to ask a question. Can there be a system built that will be like a coalition where the media can work together with sports, can work together with entertainment and universities as its foundation to like keep on bringing creatives? So it's something that can last long, and then it will do away with gatekeeping, because the industry has a lot of gatekeepers, which means creative finding it hard to like pop out.
The industry doesn't have gatekeepers anymore. Thank God for social media. There was a time that when you want to go on radio, you audition. Now you don't need to go to a radio station to become a radio presenter. And with podcasts, people who want to become a TV host like Mimi, they've already started podcasting. So who is keeping the gate? Nobody. There is content democratization. Just have good content, and you go global. When people meet me, they say, I want to become a TV presenter. I say, do you have a phone? Yes. Show me the phone, Android phone. Sit down there. Read news. And then write the news, read the news. Then put the news out there. Again, access is, we search online, we see stuff online, and then we find people we want for certain roles. online. Wasn't that how Denzi started? Wasn't that how Denzi started? Now, who collects more money from agencies than Denzi? Advertising spend has moved from traditional radio to digital space. And Denzi is cashing out big time. When he did InDrive, what was the view for InDrive? So, did he need a director? Did he need the industry? He didn't need Nollywood. He didn't need anybody. All he needed was a phone. And he had a phone. Most of you have phones. All you need to do is ring light. You can borrow, mount it, and talk. You want to become a radio presenter? Record yourself. Put it out there. Somebody will just see. Just today, I was searching for a particular kind of character for one of our new films. 1, 2, 3 is the title of the film. 1, 2, 3. That's the title. And I'm looking for one very dark girl. And I saw a monologue online. One, if you see the girl, she black reach my clothes. And I chatted her. And I said, send me a reel. And because she was ready, she sent me a reel. Now she's taking the lead. Or at least supporting lead. Why? She has put herself out there. Which is what most of us don't do. Record it. If you think it's nonsense, still put it out. Share it everywhere. One day you do the one that have sense. Just continue to do. Because if you don't show up, there's nothing to reference. Most of your generation will come and say, I want to do a film. What's your budget? You say your budget is 50 million. How? The question we ask is, what film have you done before? Nothing. What if you have done a short film? And a short film is from 1 minute to 40 minutes. Less than 40 minutes. You can do a short film, 2 minutes. Then you say, I have directed so short film. What did you do with it? I've entered it into Zuma Film Festival, into this festival. And festivals gives you access to all the big people, all the big producers that we wanted to see, big directors that I wanted to see. Now, short film, I use enter.
Okay, thank you very much.